Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A new kind of talk radio. We'll get you talking. Talk radio.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Ash. It's Thursday. Oh, John Lydon will be on the show later on tonight after midnight. We'll have a bit of Johnny Rotten. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Bam, what a time for my computer to crash. Isn't that funny? That's the second day... No, don't play now. It's the second day in a row that's happened, you see. It's not been ready to go. Let me just see. Let me just see if... it's going to work. No. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome. There's not really a lot I can do at the moment, if I'm completely honest, because we're waiting for the two Apprentice correspondents to call in. I can't start the show until they call in and correspond about the Apprentice. I thought that was the deal, wasn't it? One of them, Simon. Who's the other one? Was it Rory? Both overly keen to do this. Simon even sent 0844 499 1000. By the way, late night phone in radio show for all you new people on Twitter. You're more than welcome to call in about anything you want. But Rory was all up for it last week, and Simon has been sending out press releases and all kinds of things, and, well, they've not called in, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. This was going to be the start of the show. So I don't really know where we go from here. They're obviously not calling in, so we'll go to Jamie instead. Good evening, Jamie.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Jamie. I'm just moving away from the microphone, but I can still hear you. What you got for us, Jamie?
Right. You know when albums get re-released?
Yes, I do, sir.
And you know, they have extra tracks on them that have been remastered.
Yes.
What is that?
Sorry?
What is it?
What do you mean, what is it?
Like, I know what a remix is, and I've done recordings and stuff, but I don't know exactly what the remastered version means.
Well, the remastered, it doesn't... The remix means you go and get the original tapes with all the different tracks on, and you remix them, you know. So you've got the bass on track 1 and the drums on track 2 and the vocals on 3, and you remix them. Very few things are remixed. The remastering, I don't think it really means a lot. I think it just means that, you know, if there's a little bit of tape hiss from the olden days, maybe they clean that up, and they make it sound a little bit brighter, a bit spunkier. But I don't think it really means anything. Why? What album have you bought?
Well, I can understand that from like 60s albums or 70s and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you see albums, I don't know, the Oasis, they've been doing their first 3 albums and remastered. They only came out like 20 years ago.
Well, you say that, but 20 years is a long time in rock and roll, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was all recorded digitally.
Oh, in that case, it's pointless then.
I reckon.
Have you seen the Oasis documentary?
No, not yet.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. I don't really like Oasis, but I'd like to see it.
I'd like to have seen it in the cinema.
Well, all right. I wouldn't. I wouldn't even mind. I think so little of Oasis that I'd quite happily watch that film on my phone.
Toilet.
I'd watch it on my telephone.
Yeah.
That's how little. I like the idea of Oasis, and I like that song "She's Electric," but the rest of it, nah. But I like them. I think they're fun. I think they're good. I think the world is better that we have Liam and Noel, doing that. I think that's great. She's Electric's good. Actually, there's a couple of their songs I like. What do they care what I think anyway? They're both multi-millionaires. They've played to millions of people around the world. What do they care what the bloke from the 11 o'clock show thinks about them?
Not a lot, probably.
Probably not a lot. Yeah, I do. Because I quite like. I buy, when albums get re-released by artists I like, I will go and buy the box set versions of them, if it's by the Monkees or the Beach Boys, and all that. But quite often, like Rumours, with the Fleetwood Mac album, right?
Yeah.
You can buy it when on the 20th anniversary or the 30th anniversary, or so probably the 35th anniversary, it came out as a 2-disc set, right? And I bought it, but disc 2 was rubbish, really. Disc 1 was the album, brilliant, and a couple of B-sides. Oh, yeah, that's all right. And then disc 2 was like a couple of live tracks and some demos, and it never gets played more than once.
It's just a habit there, I guess, isn't it?
It is. They know. The thing is, they're clever, these record companies and these film companies. They know that hardcore fans. I'm just seeing if I haven't got it on my computer, otherwise we'd see what was on disc 2. Hardcore fans. I nearly bought a 4-CD box set version of Tusk. Now, Tusk is a tough old record to listen to. But a 4-CD version of Tusk? Wowzers.
Oh, well, look, I'm looking forward to hearing Johnny Rotten later, mate.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it. We recorded it a little while ago, and it's a good old chat with John Lydon. Did a caller just drop off there? I thought we had 3 others waiting. There were 3. It's a good old chat with John Lydon. I feel like I can't really start the show until we get the correspondence. This is very poor week 1 of having official Apprentice correspondence. So weak that I don't want to name and shame them, but it's Rory and Simon. So weak that I'm tempted to reopen the candidacy application requests for a new Apprentice correspondent. I think that's what we might do. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Yes, Jonathan.
Hello.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hi. I'm ringing in to say that I want a Nintendo Switch.
You what?
I want a Nintendo Switch.
What's a Nintendo Switch?
It's Nintendo's new game system.
Well, but hang on. What are you doing to the phone?
Nothing.
Okay, it sounds like something.
No.
Sounds like something.
What are you trying to imply?
I'm trying to imply that it sounds like something.
It's probably the voices in your head again.
Could be.
Yeah, they're telling you that you want a Nintendo Switch as well, even though you don't know what it is yet.
Is the Nintendo Switch just like the old the Super Nintendo they've just brought out again?
No, it's better.
Oh, but
it's 3 consoles in one.
Sweet Lord, tell me about it.
Yeah, it's a games console that turns into a handheld system that turns into a gaming tablet.
Sweet Lord, I liked the first one. I liked the second one. The tablet thing sounded... oh, here we go. Nintendo's next console, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo has given first claim its next home console handheld. The hybrid console, once called the Nintendo NX, is now known as the Switch. Yeah, okay, I'll have one. Someone sent me. Who sent me? Someone sent me an email. And it was, I'm going to be typing, let's see if I can find it, games. Someone sent me, here we go. Paul sent me this thing called a retro box. Have you heard of this?
Yes, I have.
Now, the oh, you know all about it, do you?
Yes.
The retro box is 120 quid. Throwback to the vintage era of gaming with this retro gaming console, preloaded with all of the classic games from Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, Game Boy, and more. And you get controllers with it. Are they any good?
Some of the games are okay, but it's lacking the real big hitters.
That's the thing, you see. That's the thing, Jonathan. Well, I feel that this show is lacking real big hitters tonight. Do you know what I mean? It feels a bit... We're only 12 minutes in, Jonathan. We're only 12 minutes in.
But you've got one big hitter.
Where's that?
Me. Yeah, I'm the biggest hitter on your show so far tonight.
You're the biggest something that rhymes with hitter. 0844 499 1000. Sometimes the shows take a little bit of, time to get into. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome to. Kind of a laid-back Thursday. John Lydon coming up a little bit later on. We'll just sort of see what happens between now and then. Everyone's really tired today. You tired? I'm tired. Everyone here is walking around looking tired. Has something happened? I know it's been quite grey and rainy. And I've been swimming. I took the boys swimming this morning. That was exhausting for an hour and a half. And then we went to this place and they're running around in the woods for an hour. And then we went inside and they're running around inside for an hour. So I'm knackered. But everyone just feels very tired tonight. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Now, we would be hoping to speak to Rory and Simon, our correspondents for The Apprentice, but Lee, they've not rocked up yet.
No, I thought I'd come and save the show for you, Iain. There you go.
Well, I don't know about...
there's no need for that.
Well, I mean, I was unsure as to whether we should do an Apprentice segment anyway. It felt a little bit too formulaic for me, a little bit safe.
That's fair enough.
But then I thought, well, no, it's the zeitgeist, and zeitgeist really is the word of the zeitgeist. And I thought, no, it's the zeitgeist, and the bosses here want us to kind of talk about show-busy stuff. And as you know, Lee, we're here to serve. As a lunatic once told me in a hate-filled email, Iain, you're here to serve. And I am. So I thought, no, we'll do it. And last week, everyone was excited, and we had Rory, and we had calling from Ireland, and we had Simon calling from his mum's spare room, and everyone was excited. Oh, I'll be a correspondent. Oh, it'll be an absolute pleasure. And then we come to the first. We come to the first show post Apprentice, and they've not. Oh, hang on a second.
Oh.
Simon!
Now the show can get started.
What time do you call this?
I had to spend 10 minutes analysing the show for you. Hope you realise how dedicated I am.
Well, no. You're late.
No, I need to sit down. I'm a business expert. I need to sit down and analyse it for you. Otherwise, my expert opinion would be worthless.
Here we go. Mr. Zombie Boy Hawk on Twitter said, I didn't watch The Apprentice, but Alan fired someone who totally pissed around on the task. Is that good enough? Yeah.
That's normal.
That's not good enough. Anyway, where's
no,
my music?
No. What was
Where's my music?
What was with the press release?
Yeah, do you know what? Loads of people are tuning in to listen to me, though. It's the most marketing you've ever had.
Well, technically that's true. Yes, I can't fault you on that. But the press release said you had been chosen.
You said that last week.
No, I didn't.
Oh, controversial. I feel like I should leave you two.
No, Lee, you stay there. I need a witness.
Don't say Lee. Yeah, well, you're my witness.
Lee, you're my witness.
You're my witness.
Lee,
anyway, you're going to play my music.
Lee, you're my witness.
Where's my music?
So you sent out a press release.
Yeah.
He genuinely, guys, sent out a press release saying you had been chosen to be my official Apprentice correspondent.
What were the wording you used last week, then?
I said you and Rory can come back and we'll see which one of you sticks.
Rory's not here. I win.
Default
win.
In many ways, yes.
Thank you.
But in
Lee, you heard that, right?
In the most significant way, no.
Well, I agree to disagree, so...
Okay.
And so will all my fans. So
we
can you
don't
play my
normally do
music?
that, do we?
Say that again, Lee.
I don't think we normally agree to disagree, do we?
No, we don't agree to...
Moron.
agreeing to disagreeing is a coward's way out. It means that someone has got no more weight to throw around. Where's the press release? I want to find the press release.
It's on my official website.
Well, how do I get to your website?
I can't remember the web name.
Why is it an official website as opposed to an unofficial website?
I'm sure there is an unofficial one with photos of me and stuff.
One of those sites.
Yes. Do you want to, Lee? I'm actually selling T-shirts with my face on. If you wanted to buy one.
They can't make one big enough for me.
I want to find the press release.
You could check out my Twitter. It's at EWOM.
It's what?
E1.
At
EWOM.
Okay, let's find that. Right, let's find. Right, well, you don't even have a link to your website on your Twitter feed.
No, well, word of mouth. Word of mouth.
Word of mouth, you muppet.
Word of mouth.
Celebrity sports agent, music promoter, marketing boss. You don't even have a link to your website.
You sound like you should be on The Apprentice, to be fair.
He wouldn't make it past week one.
I never made it past the top 100.
Well, exactly. Here we go. I've got the press release. Right. So this is the press release you sent out
around the world, illegally using the Talk Radio logo. Okay.
Ooh.
Simon Hood named Apprentice correspondent for Talk Radio.
That's me.
During last night's popular Talk Radio show, Late Nights with Iain Lee.
Lying already.
Steady. Presenter Iain named Simon Hood as the show's official correspondent for BBC One's hit TV show The Apprentice. No, I didn't.
You submitted that?
No, I didn't. Simon Hood, currently residing in Liverpool, previously made it through to the later stages of the audition process back in 2014. Being number 100 counts as the later stages of the audition process.
Considering those that are actually on the show, that's pretty poor standards, to be fair.
He was recruited to provide Talk Radio listeners spelt wrong, with his expert business views.
Yep, I'm ready to go.
As an entrepreneur himself...
Thank you.
Simon has continued to achieve multiple business success himself. Well, you got the word himself twice in the same sentence.
Because I love myself.
Including launching a cookbook.
Yep.
A poker app.
Yep.
Business awards.
Yeah.
You launched business awards.
I launched one, yeah. Down in Dover.
In a rocket? In like one of those paper rockets that you buy in a model shop, no?
I actually was the first person to send football into space, but I'll save that story for another day.
That's one hell of a kick.
You could save that story for another radio station.
Have you got a sausage empire, though?
Not yet.
Oh, see, Oliver's got a sausage empire.
Yeah, well, Oliver, the best way he could earn 250k is to buy a scratch card.
What are you talking about now?
Oliver, he's the Apprentice, yeah. That's what we're called on to talk about, right?
Okay.
That's why you've requested my services.
Okay, right, Simon.
Yeah.
Away you go.
Okay, so this episode was actually the funniest one yet, and really cemented the fact that The Apprentice is no longer a business show and a comedy show. So the candidates are actually sent down to Brighton to make...
Oh! Have they given you a fader now, Ian?
Yes, they've given me a fader for the phone calls, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
What an absolute muppet. Simon, you're fired!
Oh, dear. I can see why you never got on the show.
Exactly. Lee?
No offence, Simon.
You're fired too. Unbelievable. I mean, what is it with some people? Oh! Thank you to... And the BBC, we can say people's names now, to Penguin and... the other, it was Penguin and it was another organisation. Look what I got sent. Look, hang on, if I can do... I got sent the Phil Collins autobiography. I got sent that. Now, I wouldn't normally pay for that, but as a freebie, and also, if I read it nicely and don't bend over the pages to mark them off, I give that to my mum for a Christmas present. See? That is canny! Christmas sorted. That's good. Thank you, Penguin. And Random House it was. They heard me talking about it on the show. Now, here's the question, right? Here's the question. How the hell do we get Phil Collins on this show? I want Phil Collins on this show. People on there saying, oh, it's going to be really dull. Are you nuts? Are you absolutely nuts? I'm not a massive fan of his music, but Susu Studio, Invisible Touch... and I Can't Dance, classics. Absolute classics. I bet he's lived a life. I bet Phil Collins... Doesn't he look like Paul Gambaccini in that picture? I bet he's lived a life. I bet he's lived a... I tell you what, let's pick a page at random. Let's see where we get to here. There we go. Here we go. Rock and roll. Page 196, straight in. Before I leave for home, I commit 2 more cardinal sins. Yes, cardinal sins. Rock and roll, baby. The first is to approach the Queen and introduce myself. One has to wait for the Queen to approach one. I also address her as Your Highness instead of Your Majesty. Here we go. Talks about Princess Di. Listen to this. Just to be clear, I wasn't the 4th person in their marriage, Princess Di and Prince Charles, but were familiar enough for Diana to reveal some intimacies. Around this time, I'm at the dentist in Harley Street, emerging with my long-time assistant, Danny Gillan, after some major tooth work. A BMW pulls up and the window slides down. Here we go. It's Diana. And sitting in the driver's seat, an officer-class chap I recognise as James Hewitt. Hang on a second. I can make this inappropriate. Hang on. What are you doing here, Phil? She says, smiling. Then, light as you like, I've just had a colonoscopy. It was great. You should try it. Danny and I looked at each other. Did that really just happen? Yes. First page I've opened it. Lady Di tells Phil Collins she's had a colonoscopy. Do you know what? In my head, I was thinking of all kinds of filthy things I could say there. And I censored myself. That is maturity. That is growing up. You see? That's what that is. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
084 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Katia!
Hey, what happened there with the voice? You just went.
Sorry?
Okay, no, you're back.
What do you mean?
It was quite distorted.
Hang on a second. What if I do this? Does it go distorted and then come back?
Yeah, that's distorted.
Yeah.
That's better.
That means you're ready to speak to me, and when it's distorted, you're not ready to speak to me, and now you're ready to speak to me.
What did you say?
What have you got for us, Katia? Are you all set for Performance Ring on Sunday, October the 30th?
I'm editing the documentary.
Yes.
iMovie is freezing. It's doing all sorts of...
iMovie is hard work. I've got to say, right, I have... I think I've booked too many acts.
What?
I think I've booked too many acts.
Oh, right.
So if anybody wants to postpone their performance... Yeah. No, we'll fit you all in. Don't worry. No one's going to get dropped. No one's going to be asked to speed up or any of that stuff. I've got 13 acts, which may be a little bit too many. So I don't know if anybody wants to get in touch and say, actually, do you know what? I wouldn't mind waiting until the one on December the 11th. They'd be welcome to, but I'm not, it's all groovy. 13 will be good. 13 will be good. We can make 13 work.
13.
Unlucky for some!
Last dinner. Last supper.
Last dinner time for baby Jesus.
Ooh.
Baby Jeebus.
Yeah, so it's going a bit haywire. And I heard you, I just tuned in, and I heard that you're looking for Phil Collins.
Yes, do you have his phone number?
Pretty soon, I guess in a month or so, I'm going to interview Steve Hackett. I can ask him for Phil Collins' number.
Now, Steve Hackett, he's the guitarist from Genesis.
Yes, he was.
And you could ask him for Phil Collins' phone number for us?
I don't know if I can...
That would be awesome if you could.
Yes.
I'd appreciate that. I'd appreciate that. If you could ask Steve Hackett...
I'm not going to ask him for the phone number.
All right, the email. Phil Collins' email. We could probably work it out. Phil, it'll be something like...
Yeah.
Phil Collins he's quite old school, at hotmail.com, at yahoo.com. It won't be Gmail.
Why?
And it won't be Phil at philcollins.com. Because I don't think he's even on Twitter, so I don't think he's got a website that he runs, so he won't have that. Would he have a Mac? Would it be phil.collins at me.com?
Yeah, gone, the me.com, I think.
This is my Saturday, is me emailing all the variations of Phil Collins emails that I can think of. Yeah, he might be on MySpace.
Oh, yeah.
That's possible. Hang on a second. Can I just... Have you got a minute, Katia?
Yeah.
Hang on a second. How many... one L in Phil, isn't it? Hang on. Just bear with me.
Yes.
Phil Collins. Phil Collins. Hang on a minute. Let me try on Yahoo. I'm trying to create a Phil Collins email address.
See if it's taken.
Sorry?
See if it's taken.
Well, partly that, but also, what a great prize to give away. Wouldn't it be a great prize to give away Phil Collins' email address? So I'm just going to... If only... There we go. Let me go to Yahoo. Doesn't Yahoo look old? Looks old, man. Yahoo used to be the thing. Do you remember how the advert for Yahoo used to go?
I've never watched that.
Yahoo!
Really? How cheesy.
Yep. Phil Collins at yahoo.com.
Right.
A Yahoo account already exists with this email address.
That's him.
Catherine, send Phil Collins an email. Phil Collins at yahoo.com. Don't spam him, everybody. Don't spam him, please. That is inappropriate. We won't be doing that. Phil Collins at yahoo.com. We found him.
Lovely.
We found him.
Well done. Well done.
So you're October the 30th, you're going to be showing a documentary?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to give us...
No.
Okay.
No, and actually I'm looking for a small boy.
Sorry?
Aged between 8 and 10, that maybe would like to read a few lines that I could include in the documentary. So if you're a small boy listening to this and would like to be, I don't know, how is it? That's for posterity in my documentary. Please don't write to philcollins@yahoo.com. Write to Katia.
Yes. What do you want a child to say?
What? Okay.
Well, okay, look, if it gives it away, don't tell us.
Yes.
All right, well, listen, if anyone's got... It's got to be a boy, has it?
Yes, a boy.
Because you know that all young boys in cartoons are played by grown women.
Yes.
Yeah. So you don't want a grown woman being a boy?
No.
Okay.
No.
0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you have a young boy, 7 or 8 years old... that would not mind being involved in a documentary being made by a madwoman. Hey, the MPs voted to kick you all out today. Did you see that?
Right. Okay. Well, that's the other thing. I'm not really sure about the news anymore.
No. Did you see it? And I'm not even joking. Let me find. Someone posted a screen grab. Here we go. Here's a screen grab. Right.
So,
EU nationals in the UK. This is from BBC Parliament today. MPs have voted against the SNP motion on the rights of EU nationals to remain in the UK.
You're kidding me.
Sorry?
Are you kidding me?
No, I swear to you, I'm going to retweet it. I'm retweeting it now.
Okay.
And I don't know, Limmy retweeted it, and it's a retweet of someone called Anthony Hamilton, and I don't know the full story, okay?
Right.
But it says here, it's a headline on the BBC Parliament channel. MPs have voted against the SNP motion on the rights of EU nationals to remain in the UK. Now, I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound very nice.
It doesn't.
And can I do a Lily Allen?
Yeah, okay.
On behalf of my country,
yeah,
I apologise to you and Roger and everyone that's being treated like absolute scum. For no reason whatsoever. I'm embarrassed, Katia. I'm embarrassed by the way my country is making people like you feel. I think it's outrageous and it's shocking and it's shameful, and they're using you as bargaining chips in a game of poker that we can only go bust on. So I'm really sorry.
What are we supposed to do? That's the thing, you know. I don't even know what to say because I can't believe that I'm living in a country where it's acceptable, because that's one thing that I hadn't heard. This sentence has been playing in my mind for the past week or so. It has really shocked me when Theresa May said that there is nothing... how did you put it? Citizen of the world.
Oh, there's no such thing as a citizen of the world.
Yeah, if you're a citizen of... No. If you're a citizen of the world, you are a citizen of nowhere.
I tell you what she is, and this is not particularly highbrow political satire, but she's a silly cow. She is. What a stupid thing to say. I think the whole thing is... I think it's shameful. And genuinely, this is not me even doing the piece now, Katia. Genuinely, I'm really sorry on behalf of my country.
But you don't have to be, because...
No, I voted leave. I'm joking.
And even if, you know, the other lovely people who voted to remain and who don't want us out, you know, I understand all that. That's not the problem. The problem is I don't understand how we even came to the point where a leader of a country can say something like that. This is just unbelievable. Really, I'm all fired up. Sorry.
No, I get it. You're allowed to be fired up. I get it. It must be. I can't begin. Well, what is it like for you, not knowing whether you'll be allowed to stay here or not?
No, what it's been like for me the past 2 weeks since the party, since the conference, not the party, yeah.
What a party that was, huh? What a party that was, guys.
So many things have come back to me, I cast my mind back to almost 20 years ago when I arrived in London, and it was like my dream came true. I was in London. That's what I wanted to do, Oh, my God. And now I'm here, and do I want to stay? I don't think that I want to. Do I want to go back to Belgium? I don't think that I want that either because of what's happening over there. Mm. I don't want to be in any country where it's us versus them. You see? Mm. So where do I go?
But everywhere seems to be us versus them at the moment. You can't go to America.
No.
And America, now the whole Donald Trump thing is happening. It's coming to an end, right? But he's let the genie out of the bottle. He has brought into American politics, he's made it even nastier than it was before. And it is more racist, and it is more misogynistic, and it is, a presidential candidate using some of the language that man has come out with. And whatever you think of either of the two candidates, America is now quite a toxic place, and it's okay for people running for the number one job to be toxic and to be corrupt and to be horrible, lecherous, people that think it's okay to grab women by the vagina.
Yeah, I know.
So there's nowhere to go, man. The world is doomed.
Completely bonkers. And I think a few weeks ago, James O'Brien had played one of those. One of Donald Trump's monologue or something like that. And I thought, is that what it was when my grandparents, because they came from Germany and from Serbia, and they fled their countries anyways. It's quite a long story. But then I was thinking, is that what my grandparents heard on the radio, that kind of message, you see? Well, I thought, okay, we are at a turning point in history when it's fine to say this. Is it what I'm witnessing? Just what my grandparents did as well, you see?
Yeah.
And I I tweeted to James, and I said, well, for the first time in my life, I'm absolutely scared. He retweeted it, and I was like, oh my God, James has retweeted me, wow.
All right, Katia, I've retweeted you, haven't I?
Yeah, yes, but anyway, and that's when his box of trolls, as he called it.
You got abused?
Yes, I was called a snowflake.
I've been called a snowflake. I think a snowflake, it sounds like a wonderful thing to be.
I know.
Beautiful.
I know. But then, so I apologise that I just, I fired up a little bit, but God.
Let us, let us know how it goes. And, we'll see you on October the 30th.
Absolutely. And find me a boy for the documentary.
Can you say that again?
Find me a boy for the documentary.
Thank you very much, Katia. I've got all the evidence I need. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Alan, come to you after this. This is Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Alan!
Turncoat clickbait reporting in.
Sorry?
Turncoat clickbait reporting in.
Turncoat clickbait, that's a hard thing to say, isn't it? That's a tough thing to say.
Well, you gave it me last night.
I didn't give you anything last night. You mean the title? Yes, I gave you the title. Yes, gave you the title. What you got for us tonight, Cads?
I'm going to talk about the Nintendo Switch.
Well...
I feel that I've seen they've got the Nintendo NES re-released, and plug in the HDMI cable, and you can play
hang on a second. This is what?
Find me a boy.
I think that people...
Katia?
Hello?
What are you doing, Katia?
Find me a boy.
I think that people are switching off in their...
Find me a boy. Find me a boy.
There we go.
George, you're funny.
Sorry?
George, you're funny.
Okay, let me just try this.
Find me a boy.
There we go. I think that people will be switching off in their droves, Alan, hearing us banging on about computer games even more. Now,
what about food? Like a spit roast, perhaps?
Oh, Alan, come on, Alan. Now, I know you've been...
No, the Periscope dare that was.
Yeah, well, listen, guys, you know when someone dares you to say a word, right? We all know what spit roast means, okay?
I was talking about a nice...
No, you weren't.
Pig.
No, you weren't. Exactly. No, you weren't.
I was talking about food.
No, you weren't.
I got food on the plane.
No, you weren't. No,
Yes,
you
I
weren't.
have.
No, you weren't. Come on, Alan, we all know what you mean by a spit roast. We know the joke.
No, but I was thinking of food at the time.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't. What food do they spit roast?
A nice hog.
Okay. But we know you weren't, right? And here's the thing, right? When someone dares you to say a word, I always think it's the most... Someone, when I was on BBC Jersey the other day, said, I dare you to say this. But the thing is, it wasn't even a tricky word, it was cardboard. And I was thinking, well, I could say that because the thing's made of cardboard. And they were going to...
Well, we know Chris Wiles was a master of that. Getting people to say secret words.
Well, but I don't... I've never... Shut that bloody thing up!
Sorry, I just mentioned on Twitter.
I've never found that game... I've never got that game. I've never understood why that game is considered to be fun or subversive. Because if you're having a conversation, I could get any word into any conversation. I could call any word.
Like shoehorn.
Oh, I could shoehorn that into the conversation now. Let me think how I'd do it. Hang on. I can't shoehorn that word in, but any other word.
Bananas.
Hang on. Oh, I had bananas for lunch today.
What about colonoscopy?
What?
That thing Princess Diana had.
The what? Say it again.
Osteopathy.
Osteopathy?
I think that's what Diana had when you were talking about Phil Collins.
Hang on a minute. What page was it on? Because I want to read it.
198.
One what?
198.
Oh, he's right. What did you say the word was?
Oh, come on. I knew it began with an O.
What are you doing here, Phil? She says, smiling. Then, light as you like, I've just had an osteopathy. It was great.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, an osteopathy.
What is that?
I don't know. I think it's up the bum.
Oh, a bit naughty.
A little bit naughty, that. But no, I've never got the... I've never understood the... can you sneak a word in? Because it's a conversation. Hang on a minute. Glenn?
Yeah?
Give me a word to sneak into the conversation with Alan.
Superfluous.
Okay. Alan?
Yes, Ian?
Do you know what superfluous means?
It's when you raise a lot of money for charity, I reckon.
You see, Glenn? I did it.
There you go.
There's no challenge in it.
It's easy.
All right, Glenn, you think it's easy. Right, I'm going to give you a word to try and get into a conversation with Alan, right? Oh, wait, 444991000. Right.
We call you back.
All right, Glenn, you think it's so easy. Car.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
Tomorrow, I'll be taking the car to work.
I didn't know Alan Cole was working with you.
Oh, jeez. That doesn't even make sense. Alan, you didn't need to cram the word in. Glenn did. Well played, Glenn, by the way. I'd be high-fiving you if I was there now.
It was an alternative meaning to the word I was doing there.
But it didn't make sense to what he said.
No, you said car.
Yes.
And I was thinking of Alan Carr.
Yeah, but his sentence was about a driving car.
Automobile.
Well, obviously, you prune.
I need to be taking the tablets again.
Oh, flipping it. Right, okay, hang on a minute. Let me. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let me just get some music. Right. Okay, Alan.
Yes, Ian.
You've got to cram in the word.
Yeah.
You're going to have a conversation with Glenn, and you've got to try and cram this word. Actually, it's quite a fun game now, I think, on it. Flange. The word is flange. Okay.
Hi, Glenn. Glenn?
Yes.
Did you know that Davina McCall?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at some pictures online the other day, and I noticed he made a...
No, right, come on, guys! Let's try again. Let's try and keep it above the waist. I'll give you another word, Alan.
Okay.
Sentinel.
Glenn, you know X-Men?
Mm-hmm.
You know those robot buddies they face, the Sentinel?
Oh, aye.
I wonder what their weak spot is.
All right, there we go. I think we've got a little tournament going. We've got 5 minutes. Let's have a little game. Right, okay.
Okay.
First one to fail.
This will take us up to the news.
Alan and Glenn. Right, Glenn. I tell you what we're going to do. This is. Hang on a second. Stay there. Right. Kyle.
This will take us up to the news, Ian.
Shut up. I'll decide who gets taken up to the news and shot or not. Kyle.
Good evening, you all right?
Can you set a word for Glenn to sneak into a conversation with Alan?
Yeah, easily.
Go on then.
Seepage.
Glenn, the word is seepage. The word is seepage.
Okay. I was most alarmed this morning to find out that there was some seepage coming from my ceiling. I better phone my landlord.
Did you leave the water running?
What?
You'll just have to find out.
Yeah. All right, that's 1-0 to Glenn. All right, Alan, you've got to get the word... I can't think of any words. I know. Balloon.
You know these killer clowns that have been around?
He's talking to you, Glenn, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Tough guy.
I saw one that had a bunch of balloons.
Right, well, you got that wrong.
Plural, that's balloons.
You didn't get that right, Galen. The word was balloon, so it's 1-0 to...
Plural.
Yeah, I know exactly. It wasn't the word I asked you to say. 1-0 to Glenn.
Okay.
First one to 3. Kyle, do you want to set a word for Glenn?
Kumquat.
The word is kumquat. The word is kumquat. Glenn.
Today my nutritionist said I should have a healthier diet. They suggested implementing the kumquat.
Alan, you have to respond.
Oh, it sounds painful.
It's 2-0 to Glenn. Alan, your turn. Hello? He's gone. He's just gone, guys. Well, that means that Glenn, you're the winner. 2-0.
I'm honoured. I had a good word as well lined up.
Go on. What? You don't get to decide the words.
I know, but if I had the opportunity, I was going to suggest one. But
just tell you what, just for fun. There's no points, no score now. The score's finished. What would the word have been, Glenn?
Visceral.
Thanks very much for calling.
Night.
There we go. That was fun, wasn't it, Kyle?
I enjoyed that.
Can you tell I'm working on formats for a new television show?
Well, I quite enjoyed last night's as well.
I've no idea to what you refer. Which is, it's interesting you said you liked it because you had your pants taken down and your butt was spanked hard.
I did lose badly.
That did make me laugh. If someone I've just noticed on the Facebook page going, was last night's show pre-recorded? I heard him talking to Nigel about money, and it was. I'm sure I'd heard that conversation before, and loads of people gone, no, and that means you missed. Tastes like food doesn't taste like food. I've put it on YouTube. It'll be in the podcast, guys. It'll always be around for us to share. What you got for us, Kyle?
Not very much. I was only ringing up just to join in the word game, to be honest.
Well, the word game has finished.
Oh, is there a new game? Or
oh, I tell you what. I tell you what you can help me with, right? You know, I'm trying to fascinated by this Max Spears. It's this conspiracy theorist guy that was that is claimed to be murdered by black magic, magicians. Not I've never seen a black magician. I don't mean in black magic. I mean as in like Paul Daniels. Have you?
Well, what about that bloke who was in Live and Let Die, Baron Samedi?
Well, that was black magic.
Oh.
And he was black. I'm talking about an actual black magician. I've never seen one. Dynamo's white, mate.
Is he?
Anyway, yes, he's Irish.
Oh.
Dynamo's Irish. Dynamo is Irish.
David Blaine.
Oh, come on.
He's mixed heritage.
Anyway, so I've messaged this Miles Johnston, right, who's an expert on Max Spears, and I've sent him this long message saying, "Hi Miles, my name is Iain Lee. I host a late-night phone-in show on Talk Radio. Heard you on BBC Radio 4pm, blah, 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 blah. I'd love you to come on my show one night to discuss your theories, what happened to Max. Hope to hear from you soon, Iain Lee." He's replied 3 words, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your demographic?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What is it? I mean, I can't reply to him, losers who still live with their mum into their 50s, can I? Well, actually...
Well, I was going to say, you've gone the gamut from, like, people like me to Katia to Penny to Dennis.
Yeah.
So, you've got quite a wide range in
Well,
demo,
yeah, but
really.
as I said, Kyle, I don't just want to write losers. What's my Well, that's the next hour of the radio sorted, Kyle.
Well, I hope you enjoy it.
We play What's My Demographic. Thank you for calling, mate. Genuine question. What's my demographic? How do I reply to that question? It's important, because I want this guy to come on. I bet he won't come on. But I want him to. I can't put losers. I can't put perverts. I can't put 50-year-old men that live with their mums. Although maybe... 0844 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio. For those about to talk, we salute you. Talk Radio.
I've just replied. I put losers and people still living with their mums in their 50s. I thought you might as well be honest. You never know. John Lydon coming up later. Your phone calls first. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
This is the number one song in heaven, written of course by the mightiest hand. All of the angels are sheep in the fold of their master. They always follow the master at his plan. It's number one all over heaven. It's number one all over heaven. It's number one all over heaven. The number one song all over heaven. If you should die before you wake, if you should die whilst crossing the street, the song that you hear, I got it too. It's number one all over heaven. It's number one all over heaven. It's number one all over heaven. The number one song all over heaven. The one that's the rage up here in the cloud. As loud as a crowd, as soft as a cloud. Lyrically weak, but the music's delayed. Gabriel plays it, God how he plays it. Gabriel plays it, God how he plays it. Gabriel plays it, God how he plays it. Gabriel plays it, let's hear him play. The song filters down through the clouds. It reaches the earth and winds all around. Then it breaks up in millions of ways. It goes la 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 la, la 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 la. Because it becomes a hit. Oh, in your home becomes advertisement. Oh man. Oh, in the streets it becomes children singing.
I'll play you. That's the Future Heads version, which we discovered yesterday. Was it? It was Jay. Oh, it was Jay, I think, told us about that. I'll play you the original version by Sparks later on. Right? It sounds. You coming in for that? Thank you. It sounds like a completely different song. I'm going to be honest. I think the Future Heads version is better. Doesn't have the soaring falsetto of Russell Mael. God, I love Sparks. I've got to make you a Sparks mixtape. Sparks. Do you know, I was never really into Sparks. Right? I was never particularly aware of them, apart from the hit. This town ain't big enough for the both of us. Dum 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 dum. And it ain't me who's gonna live. And they were offered to me when I was at LBC years ago as guests, right? And we didn't really have guests, but something. And I think I might have turned them down initially, and then I went, yeah, do you know what? Go on, let's have them, right? And I'm so glad I did. It changed my life. They came in, Ron and Russell Mael, and I watched loads of videos, and I'd listened to a couple of albums to kind of get into it, and they make this big noise. They make this massive noise, you know. And if you ever see them in concert, it's this huge, fat sound. And they came in, and they must have been in their 50s when I interviewed them. This is about 12 years ago. And they were the softest spoken, quietest people I have ever met, and I felt completely head over heels in love with them. And I did that thing. We do the thing quite often. The trick I like to do in the interviews, right? Doesn't always work, and you can't always do it, right? But is I tend not to mention the person's biggest hit. When we speak to John Lydon later on, we don't mention punk. He mentions Johnny Rotten. We don't mention punk. And I don't think we say the name Sex Pistols. He talks about them, but I don't think we say the name Sex Pistols. I could be wrong, right? But I just think it's a nice thing, because imagine, you know, the Sex Pistols were 40 years ago. It's 18 months 40 years ago. So imagine constantly being asked about that. And obviously Sparks, their biggest hit, the song they're most known for is This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us. And the dead me who's gonna live. 0844 499 1000. As they came in, I said, look, guys, if you don't want to mention it, we won't talk about that song. And they're like, what? I said, we won't. I'm quite happy not to mention that song. I'm not particularly interested in it. I'm interested to know about you and stuff. And they were so thrilled that must have been their first interview, where it didn't start off with, so you guys were famous back in the early 70s. Tell me about This Town Ain't Big Enough. Where'd you get the idea for that from? Didn't mention it. It got mentioned in the interview because we took phone calls, and Verinda phoned up and sang it to them down the phone, right? If anyone's got the clip of that, could you send it to me? Because Ron and Russell Mael pissed themselves. They could not believe that some kid was phoning them up to sing, and they were in hysterics. It was wonderful. And then I've been a fan ever since, and I went and saw them at the Town and Country Club, whatever that's called in Kentish Town, the Forum, that night. And it was just amazing. After having met these two... don't worry, if my accent is bothering you, I can make it easy for you to go. There we go. Someone on Periscope. The accent's bothering me. I'm out. That's fine. I'll just block you. To go and see them, these two, you know, highly intelligent men. They're very, very well read, these men. Very well read. And just make this brilliant, fat, loud rock noise. It was delightful. Anyway, 0844 499 1000. I'll play the Sparks version of that, and I don't think it's as good. Now, what is this? This keeps popping up in my timeline, so I feel I have to mention it. And I didn't want to mention it, but I feel I have to. Do you know this story, Catherine? You'll be all over this. Company launches bring your own semen cookery classes. Bring your own semen cookery classes. I mean, it's clickbait. I'm falling for it. I'm going to the Daily Mail website. It's clickbait, guys. It's the generation that we live in. The Mail Online. Don't look at the comments, Ian. Don't look at the comments. But baking enthusiasts are being invited to make their own Victoria spooge cake at a Bring Your Own Semen cookery class, henceforth referred to as BYOS. Amateur chefs will be taught to use as a cooking ingredient in cakes and other desserts, as well as main courses, according to organisers. They can also learn to make chicken with a spicy jerk sauce. Oh, that's a joke. A semen salted caramel dessert, and even cocktails using the bodily fluid. The cooking classes, which will be held in Shoreditch, will discuss their health benefits and cook using the ingredient. This is not... Is this real? I know, Catherine, that was my attempt at a mucky innuendo. Participants will need to bring at least 5 teaspoons of semen. 5 teaspoons, that's a whole afternoon. Along with them to the class. It can be their own or from their partner. They will come home with not just a whole new of recipes under their belt, but also an in-depth knowledge of semen cooking techniques. Relationship expert Alex Fox said of the classes, "Oh my God! I can't say that word." This is the Daily Mail website. She uses, while the idea of bringing, and then she uses the street slang term for semen. No, not spodge. No, not spooge. No, not jizz. Not spaff, Catherine. No. Come, baby, come. Into the kitchen will doubtless appall many people. Yes, it blooming well will, Alex Fox. Some individuals find the idea of consuming such an intimate substance as a turn-on. Blimey! Not in a cake! Wonder Rush founder Nelson added, "I know some people will find this hard to swallow, but the idea of cooking with semen isn't as far-fetched as one might think. Wonder Rush is all about giving people unique classes and experiences, and although our usual classes are somewhat tamer, they should give people a taste of our sense of humour." Organisers are crowdfunding for the classes online, and if they're a success, they hope to roll them out in other cities across the country. So far, Wonder Rush has exceeded its £200,000 target. Do you want to see if you can find Wonder Rush? Get them on. Wonder Rush is the company. Because do you remember there was 0844 499 1000. There was a furore about a year ago because someone wanted to sell breast milk ice cream. It was ice cream, wasn't it? And they either started doing it or they were about to do it. And then Health and Safety and local council got involved and went, well, No, you can't do that. So I can't believe this would be allowed to happen. And what is the... I mean... Okay, can we talk seriously for a minute, right? What is the point? What is the point? Because... let's tread delicately. Trying to tread really delicately. The whole process of putting it in like a cake or something... I don't see how that will be a sexual turn-on. I can't see that as a sexual turn-on. There wouldn't be enough in a cake for it. You know, people say it's good for your skin and all that stuff. I don't know if I buy that, but there wouldn't be enough in the cake for it to be beneficial. I mean, if people want to... This is a joke, isn't it? This is a joke. I don't believe this, and this is why I've been ignoring it. It's been popping up all day on Twitter, and I thought, no, and then it just popped up just then. I'm thinking, no, that can't be real. 0844 499 1000. Trish, Jerry, stay there. Come to you after this.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Jerry and Trish, I will come to you in a second. You can call as well. 0844 499 1000. Loads of you are sending me recipe books for this particular ingredient. I can't believe it. I mentioned earlier on when I had Sparks on another radio show. Thank you, Ray. He sent me a clip. Do you indulge me for 40 seconds? I've not heard it. 2006, September 2006. I've not heard this, so you're joining me. Sparks are in the studio. I've said I'm not going to mention that song. 20 minutes later, this happens.
Zoo time, it's you time. The mammal's your favourite time. And you want to fly. I'll be increasing. You hear the thunder stampeding. Rhinos, elephants, and tacky tigers. This town ain't big enough for the both of us. It ain't me who's gonna leave. Flying a
Yes, I apologise, but I don't know.
Excellent. I never thought the original could be topped, but I was wrong.
You want to get that guy's phone number?
Yeah, we do.
Take them on top.
You're signed, buddy.
I'm sorry about that. I tell you what, let's have the other A side. Can we have his waterproof? Oh, they're lovely. Ron and Russell Mail. We'll try and get them on the show. They've got a new album coming out. Let's go to Jerry. Evening, Jerry.
Oh, Sparks, one that weird. The keyboard is a bit weird. He stares at the camera, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. When John Lennon first saw them on television, it's supposedly Top of the Pops, but he was in America, so I'm not quite sure. He went, effing hell, Hitler's on the telly. Because he did. He looked like Hitler, and he stared at the camera. It's a brilliant stage presence they've got.
Yeah. Johnny Rotten's on later.
Johnny Rotten's on after 12, yeah.
Ask him what he does on a Sunday afternoon. Just ask him what he does.
Sorry?
Ask him what he does on a normal day.
Well, I kind of... It's a pre-record. We recorded it last week. But, yeah, I kind of did want to know what it was like. What is it like to be John Lydon now? Yeah. You know, what does he do? How does he fill his days?
Not the recording artist, the man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we talk... I think you might like it, Jerry. I think we kind of get a little bit into that. I don't talk about the Pistols at all.
No, that's good. I think he tries to forget about them, doesn't he?
Yeah, and you know, if you want to know about the Pistols, you go and read a book, go and watch a film, go on YouTube. You know, I want to know what it's like being him. He talks about Savile, he talks about Lockerbie, he talks about Trump, he talks a little bit about I'm a Celebrity. And he's Public Image Limited are doing a tour, and they've got a re-release of a couple of their albums coming out. So that's what he's unplugging. But he was absolutely delightful.
He's a nice man, really intelligent.
Yeah, he's very well-read bloke, very well-read, very intelligent, very, very sharp. Sharper than me, you know, quicker than I am.
And these teaspoons, I'll take ages to get. Take me all year.
Say that again, teaspoons?
5 teaspoons full.
Oh, well.
Take me all year.
Well, you know, I can't believe that's real.
It's got to be disease and everything.
Yeah, that's got to be someone having a wind-up. I don't believe it.
Puns all the way through their article.
Yeah.
Even the Daily Mail.
I know. I think maybe I've been sucked in by that. I don't know.
It's a bit hard to swallow.
How are things going for you, Jerry? You're sounding well tonight.
Having a really rough week, believe it or not.
Yeah.
A really rough week with wheelchairs.
What's that? Why are you having a rough week? Wheelchairs, did you say?
Yeah, it's broken.
Aye. What have you got, an electric one?
I've got both.
Right.
Got a manual and an electric one.
Can you use the manual one on your own, though?
I can with my feet. Just put myself along in my arms. But I struggle.
Hard work.
Yeah. My electric one, I just suicide in that. Go crashing over walls and everything.
Oh, I know. My mum's terrible.
Skating boards are wrecked.
Oh, but it doesn't matter, though, does it?
How is your mum?
She's all right, actually. Do you know what? I was thinking I'm going to go and see her this weekend. She's all right. I've got to just sort out a couple of banking things. She's been assessed by psychiatrists and the council and all that. It's all sorted. I've just got to close one standing order, make a claim for the money. We'll be owed a few grand, so I'll make a claim for that, set up a new standing order. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. We're sorted.
Care's difficult at the moment. They're cutting care down like anything.
Cutting everywhere. And I tell you what, I saw a thing in one of the papers which proves my point. I can't remember what paper it was. But it says that people who are self-funding are subsidising people who are paid for by the council. And I'm thinking, well, I've known this for years. You know, the fact that my mum was paying 1,500 quid a week and now it's down, now the council are involved, it's down to 950 quid a week. Oh, suddenly they can save nearly 600 quid, can they? Oh, right. Oh, I see. I see, guys. Thanks. And even then the council are paying 750 and my mum's paying 200 a week still. Unbelievable. Anyway, it's sorted and it's going to be fine.
And they try and get me extra care.
Are you still at home?
No, I'm still long. I've been in respite since December.
Right.
Still respite.
Right.
They can't prize the key out my hand, but they're trying. I might.
Well, hang on. Respite, I thought was supposed to be temporary.
Just temporary, but it's long term.
Oh, the old temporary long term, huh?
Yeah, I can't get out.
Ah. So where do you want to stay there?
I don't know. It's gone a bit crap. But the place, can I say, the finances being pulled from everywhere.
Yeah.
We got deteriorating diseases and they're cutting the care. We're not getting any better. We're getting worse.
And also, I read another story in the week that like big care home company, because it's a business. You're pounds and pennies. You are, Jerry.
I'm a service user.
Yeah, but care home company had gone bust. Well, what happens then? You know, it worries me. It worries me, Jerry, because what's it going to be like in 30 years' time for me?
It's a nightmare. It's going to be ticking time bomb, as I said before. It's going to blow up like Anthony Andrews.
Yeah, well, we're all doomed, you know. But
and what's the point of saving if you're just going? No point in saving because all your money's going to care.
Yeah, or give all your money to your kids.
Let's try to get around it that way, but they'll get.
As long as you do it, here's the thing. As long as you do it 7 years, as long as there's a gap of 7 years at least between you giving the money to your kids and you then going into a care home or something, then you're all right. But and also I think it's 7 years as well to avoid inheritance tax. But you've got to trust that your kids won't spend all that money.
And you got to know when that's taking right beginning of retirement term at 65, but I got Parkinson's at 28, so then I was going to get Parkinson's at 28.
Yeah.
So can't.
How old are you now, Jerry? You're the same age as me, aren't you?
44.
40. So you're much older. Okay,
I was
fine.
about a couple of days older.
Much older, significantly older.
I think 15 years. I can't remember. Last count. 15 years.
What do you want, Jerry?
What?
What do you want? I don't mean out of this phone call. I mean out of life. What is the best option for you?
Just to be happy. I'm happy most of the time. Just deal with it. But they're making it so hard to deal with it. Just that freezes. Don't really more as I say with MS. But it just goes and you can't do anything.
No, but is dealing with it just dealing with it? Is that living? Do you know what I mean? Do you feel like you're living?
I'm stuck in here all day.
Yeah.
Stuck in a room. I do go out and wind up the other people. Telling jokes and doing
you're allowed to wind people up, I think, but you know.
No, in a funny way, not wind them up. Just tell jokes, cheer up all the residents.
Yeah.
So people who can't speak or anything.
Well, you've always got, there's always a slot with your name on this show, Jerry.
Thank you very much appreciated.
Nice to talk to you, mate. Take care.
Ian?
Yeah, go on.
You've got to guess what degree I did.
Guess what the what?
Guess what degree I did at university, so you can guess.
Go on.
Have a guess.
Hang on a minute. I'm struggling to understand what you're saying. Guess what?
Guess what degree is it at university?
The degree you've got?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sports psychology.
No, criminology and law.
What kind of law?
Criminology and law.
Oh, criminology and law. Oh. Hey, you could be, was it Ironside? Was Ironside the detective in a wheelchair?
Yeah, and he's in the pilot. He was walking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he walked, and for about 30 seconds he got shot, and he's knackered, confined to a wheelchair.
You could be the British Ironside, but you got Parkinson's, makes it a bit sexy. And because there'll be loads of people with Parkinson's who will watch that kind of rubbish, so you could be like the poster boy for Parkinson's.
I could be the Sandy.
Yeah, exactly. Sandy from Crossroads.
Yeah.
How did I get that reference? What was wrong with Sandy?
I don't know. He was an old man. I spoke to the two. Who was the guy on before you forgot? Gould.
Yeah.
Gould's an evil man, and Johnny Gould's met him.
Oh,
and knew all about him. Interviewed.
Blimey.
He did have a proper illness.
Yeah, he did. I remember. Where unlike the one-armed guy in Robin's Nest, the one-armed Irish waiter who I saw as a child, I saw him walking down the street with two arms.
I was in Fawlty Towers as well. The builder. I like the guy.
I think it might have been the same guy. I don't know Fawlty Towers too well because I think it's a load of old rubbish. Jerry, listen, I'm going to move on because I've got to go to a break and Trish has been waiting forever. Thank you, mate. Always nice to talk to you. 0844 499 1000. We'll have a little update on Bring Your Own Semen after this.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Brilliant. Hey, that's a bit of... Catherine, come in and give us an update. That's a bit of good news. Miles Johnston, who I didn't think would come on, is going to come on tomorrow night at 10 to talk about Max Spears. And now you might have seen been a few stories about this Max Spears gentleman in the newspapers the last couple of days. He was a conspiracy theorist, and I don't actually know what that means. So I'm using that term. I'm going to do some reading up on it tomorrow. I'm using that term as a broad brushstroke. But he died in Poland, and literally the day or 2 days before he died, he sent a message to his mum saying, look, if something happens to me, investigate it. And then something happened to him. He was killed. And one of the theories is he was killed by practitioners of black magic. Now, the reason I've kind of latched onto this story is I heard this gentleman, Max Spears, Miles Johnston, talking on BBC Radio 4pm, which is a very serious show. It was only about a 5-minute interview, but I was just listening and thought, oh, that's weird. And this Miles sounds like a very knowledgeable gentleman. I've just been messaging him, and he's coming on tomorrow night at 10 o'clock to talk about Max and what he thinks happened. I've sent you his details.
I saw, thank you.
So, I'll do that. Good. That gives me a little bit of homework to do tomorrow to kind of read up on that. He was asking what is the demographic, and I said I may have told a Porky Pie Day listener. You'd be the judge of this. I said, they're a fairly intelligent bunch. I don't know if that, but I also said, and I mean this about you, listener, that you quite like being challenged, and you quite like questioning things, and I said, look, come on, I will question you. I'm not going to just sit there and passively take it, but I'm not going to take the pee, and you'll get a fair hearing. So, be interesting.
Of course it will.
Be really interesting.
Good, well done.
Semen, Catherine, you're our semen correspondent for this evening. Yes, it's sexual bullying in the workplace. Hey, if it's okay for a future president of the United States, then it's okay for this guy. Honk, honk.
I dare you to do that.
It would almost be worth it, wouldn't it? Semen, what have you found? You've been researching semen for us. You and Ed have been busily beavering away and in front of the computer, and you've...
To be honest, I let Ed do most of it, and he managed in about 10 seconds.
Wow.
So always a bonus.
Okay, yeah.
He said that... I found it, Cass, so I had a look. And Wonder Rush appears to be kind of a platform for various kind of night school classes.
Okay.
Fun hobbies.
Fun hobbies.
And BYOS.
Yes.
Bring your own semen cookery classes.
So it's actually a thing?
Well, I don't know whether it is yet, because... You look on their website, and what they're trying to do is crowdfund.
Well, I can find some if they want.
No, I don't mean like that.
I can source it.
They want money.
Source.
No, they want money.
Money. That's what I want. That's what I want.
They want a financial deposit for Wonder Rush, so that they can start peddling these various classes. So I don't know whether it's really a thing or whether it's just a very handy way to get the public's attention, because everyone likes a grubby little story, don't they?
I tell you what, I'll do a cookery class for £10 a head.
All right, what are you going to make? Lemon drizzle?
Spunky sandwiches. Anyone want one?
I don't think...
Anyone hungry? I'm going to go in the kitchen and the bathroom. Anyone?
I don't think that's the thing, Ian.
Want anything?
Pretty sure it's not a thing.
I'm going in the kitchen and the bedroom. Does anyone want anything to eat?
Right, okay. So that's the update.
Okay.
Are you all right now?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, fine. Thanks a lot. Tris!
Semen, taste like food or don't taste like food?
Oh, dearie me. That was...
Hip, hip, hip. How are you?
Well, I'm all right, thank you. I'm tired. I've had a really good day with my kids today. A really good day. They made me laugh a lot, and they made me forget, for just a few hours, Tris, that the world is miserable and we're all going to die, possibly, of a really horrible disease at some point. And for a few hours... I was just entranced by two little idiots making me laugh a lot by being very, very funny.
That's what they're there for, isn't
it? Yeah. And lots of fighting in the swimming pool, and it was it's the funniest thing. You say, right, any more fun? And they both go, oh, Daddy hit me in the private. Oh, Daddy's grabbed my wing. Oh, Dad. So right, any more fighting in this pool, and we are getting out. Right. And they both went, yeah, okay. And I turned around, literally as soon as I turned around, I saw them both just going for each other. And it made me laugh so much, so naughty, but wonderful. I'm going to say this. My two little boys they are turning into delightful gentlemen. Delightful gentlemen.
Well, that's nice. It means you're doing something right, doesn't it?
Someone's doing something right somewhere. What you got for us, Tris?
Yeah. I was going to talk about Sparks a little bit. I've got a few of their LPs. I'm not massively into them, but they've got fantastic album covers, haven't they?
Oh, the album covers are brilliant. What's the one where it's them being kidnapped? They're both
propaganda.
They're both tied up and gagged on the back of a speedboat that's sailing, and it's brilliant. There's one as well. Isn't there one where they're in a helicopter crash or something?
Oh, I've not got that one. Maybe. It sounds like them.
It's Sparks album covers. They really are. They're here we go. It's Indiscreet, and it's them. A light aeroplane crash. They're brilliant. They were one of the first bands that I'm aware of. They've done 22 albums, I think. And they were one of the first bands where they booked a venue in London for 2 months. And over the space of 2 months, they played every single album in order once.
Oh, mate.
And I went to 3 of them, I think. And I went to a really obscure album because I knew there wouldn't be many people there, and I was right. Obviously the big ones like Kimono My House was sold out, but I just thought, and they played them perfectly, right? The work that must have gone into that, to learn every single song from every album, and then the encore, they'd come out and play like B-sides and stuff. Just amazing.
Oh, lovely.
Just amazing. Hilarious. Such a visual band as well.
But no, when I see one of their records kicking around, I'll happily spend 10, 15 quid, if for nothing more than the artwork. I think they really put a lot of effort in.
Yeah, they do. I think some of their stuff is hard work.
Yeah.
But for me, the album, here's the album, guys, and I guess it's from about 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Little Beethoven.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, mate. It's unlike anything I've ever heard. It's incredible. Then they did a song called, on a different album. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. If we're doing a... Hang on. Listen. Just listen to 20 seconds of this. Hang on a second. I've got to go skip past the advert. Just this wonderful sense of humour that they have in their songs. Here we go. Skip. Here we go.
She won't go out with me, no. She won't go out 'cause my internet.
Oh, blooming internet. Hang on. Oh, dear. This is the thing, you see, Tris, because... Here we go.
She won't go out with me, no. She won't go out 'cause my intellect's paper thin. She won't go out with me, no. She won't go out 'cause my intellect's not like him. So like the Morrissey. She won't hang out with me, no. She won't hang out till my body wet bites like his. She won't hang out with me, no. She won't hang out till my quick retorts quick as his. So lighten up, Morrissey. Lighten up, lighten up. Lighten up.
Lighten up, Morrissey. It's just a joy. I mean... Oh, come on, guys. I just think they're so wonderful. We'll play after midnight. We'll play their version of Number One Song in Heaven. It's completely unlike the other version.
They're very underrated and only known for one song. I think it's a bit of a shame, really.
Yeah, no, totally. I think they're superb.
But I've started following one of my dreams. I've actually taken bull by the horns and actually getting paid to write music and gig reviews.
Hey, fantastic! Who's paying you? That's fantastic.
Oh, I've been taken on by a new website.
Oh.
I mean, it's a minimal amount.
Oh, yeah,
minimal amount.
yeah. But you're getting free tickets for gigs as well, are you?
Free tickets for gigs, free album promos, stuff like that. I've managed to bag me the new 5-disc My Generation that's coming out in a couple of months.
What do you mean 5-disc? What 5-disc My Generation? What are you talking about?
Oh, they've demos, new mono mix, new stereo mix. Well, the new stereo mix. Pete and Roger have bloody gone into the studio with the old equipment and overdubbed it.
Oh, well, that's silly.
Ridiculous.
And also, that album's a bit of a stinker. But, Trish, you've got to get... How come you're getting all this free stuff? What the hell is wrong with this world?
Hustling, mate. That's what it is.
You're right. Oh, that's brilliant, man. Well, let us know how it goes. I'm very pleased for you.
Yeah, I will do.
All right, Trish, listen, man. Nice one. Best of luck with that. 0844 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Tonight's show's bumping along quite nicely. I wouldn't say it was a classic, but it's all right. What have we talked about? Sparks, cooking with semen. The Apprentice. Although we never did get an Apprentice update, did we? Other bits and pieces. You know the way it goes on a weeknight between 10 and 1. Pretty much anything happens. I should let you know, dear listener, we put out at least one podcast a day. iTunes is where I get them from. But you can get them from your usual podcast providers. If you type in Iain Lee, IAINLEE, and Talk, it pops up. And then sometimes we put out two. So we'll do like a best of. And then we'll also do, like, for example, a John Lydon, Johnny Rotten podcast as well. And they'll go out tomorrow, probably about 7, 8 o'clock, something like that. Okay? So you get the best of show from the day before. You dig? You dig, guys? And if you go to the website and you can listen to the whole show again, I think it's under the schedule thing. I need to, because loads of people have asked me, and I know you can. I'll have a little play around tomorrow and I'll find out how to do it. Remind me tomorrow's show. I'll talk you through how you can listen to the whole show. How's about them apples? But on the weeknights between 10 and 1, I sit here, we have an open microphone and open phone lines, and I kind of just see what comes out of my mouth. And you can call in about anything you want, really. You can chip into the conversation that we've had, or you can bring something new to the table. Very simple. You call 0844 499 1000. You'll speak to Kath or Ed. Oh, I'm doing a big yawn. I've been yawning all evening. All evening, 'cause I'm so tired. I'm going to sleep well tonight, and I've got not technically a lie-in, but I'm not leaving for work tomorrow until 11:15 in the morning, so I could probably get up 10:30, up, shower, shirt on, shirt is already ironed, jacket, boom, 10:30, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. But if you want to call us now, 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. You speak to Ed or Kath, and they will call you back. And then you get straight on. As simple as that. That's what Dave did. Evening, Dave.
Good evening, Iain. How are you?
I'm very, very tired, Dave. You sound full of beans.
Well, I'm a first-time caller, and I'm nervous as hell. So nervous.
You must be nervous. We've never spoken before.
First-time caller?
Wow, that's, long-time listener?
You long-time listener, yeah.
And you've
Podcast. Sometimes I listen live.
Yeah, we've never spoken before. Are you sure?
I'd remember it, Iain.
Yeah, no, I suppose you would. Oh, well. Well, it's nice to talk. It's always nice to get first-time callers on the show.
Yeah, very nervous.
What made you pick up the phone this evening, David?
Well, I was listening live last night, and I loved your analysis of the historic sex abuse cases and your theory on exposing the names of the people and cutting down on how much time the police have got to handle it. I thought it was really well thought out.
Thank you, Dave.
Reasoning, yeah.
Yeah?
It was really, really intelligently done. But what really gripped me was I was listening to a podcast a little earlier, and it was concerning American cities that are bans. I'm sure you've still got your original list. I don't know whether you keep it on electronically or on paper file or...
Yeah, got it.
Wait while you find it.
Got it. It's a bit crumpled, but I got it in front of me, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then. So I think I've got some new ones, but we may have to check off the old list.
Okay. So these are bands that are also parts of America. For example, the band America.
I think you said Chicago.
Yeah. Kansas.
Kansas?
Is that not on the list?
There's a band called Kansas?
Yeah, Kansas.
Ah.
Katia loves them.
What was their big hit?
I don't know, some rubbish. That's what started it. Kansas started it.
Oh, okay. Did we have John Denver?
Yes, we did, yes.
Charlotte Gainsbourg?
Sorry?
Charlotte Gainsbourg? Charlotte is a city in...
You're right, we didn't have Charlotte. How do you pronounce her last name?
Gainsbourg.
Okay, Charlotte Gainsbourg.
Chicago? Chic? Argo? Le Freak? Chic? Argo?
But where did the Argo come from?
Chicago. Chicago.
Yes, but chic and Chicago are different.
Oh, so I guess you're not going to be happy with Philadelphia Collins. or Phoenix Cave and the Bad Seeds. Or New Orleans Rhymes. San Bernardino Cribbins. Brooklyn Collins. Oh, this one's good. Connecticut Crew.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling, Dave.
Thank you, guys. Hollywood.
Bye-bye. Oh, God. Thank you, Hollywood. Thank you, Dave. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Oh, all of the papers have today, and this does look delicious. They've made well, I don't know. They've made a new loaf. Have you seen the new loaf? Is it a croissant or a loaf of bread? Or could it be both? I didn't want to say this word. Welcome to the crow loaf. Croix loaf. Because half of it's French, half is English. You'd say croissant. Croix loaf. C-R-O, loaf. So it's crow loaf? Oh. Croix loaf? It doesn't work. It should have been the Lausanne, the bread, I don't bloody know. It's a new breakfast choice. Wow, just what we needed at breakfast. More choice, huh? Don't we? Which is a mixture of a croissant and a loaf of bread. I tell you, when did they invent the brioche loaf? Because that is just... Oh... You wonder where this comes from. It's the brioche loaf. And the thing is, you get a loaf of brioche, right? Because a brioche is like a little stick of sweet bread, yeah? But a loaf of it, and it's supposed to be like a treat breakfast, but there's no way I'm leaving that doesn't last one sitting. The kids will have a little bit, then they'll go, and then you just sit there picking at the brioche loaf until it's gone. Appearing to be a number of croissants baked together. Let me just show this to the listeners at home. There we go. You see, you got that? Got that, guys? Oh, an unfortunate-looking model when you take that page out. Anyway, appearing to be a number of croissants baked together, or one giant croissant, the crow loaf has hit the British shelves for the first time. It's on sale at Marks and Spencer and is described as the perfect fusion of the French and British breakfast. We're pulling out of the EU. We don't want more of this filth over here. Oh. Can someone do the maths? I'm going to give you some stats. Can you do the maths here? It has a third fewer calories than a croissant per portion, but more than double of that found in a regular slice of white bread. So how many calories is that? If Jack has a croissant and Stevie has 2 pieces of bread and Pascal has a croix loaf, who's got beans? The £2.40 croix loaf contains 114 calories per slice and is made with French butter, the best butter in all of the world. You're actually doing the maths. Don't. Unlike a croissant, you can eat the loaf over a few days, although M&S advises toasting it. I don't get it. When I cut it down the middle, will I see bread or will I see croissant? That's all I want to know. When I cut it down the middle, do I see bread or croissant? Which is it? Getting angry about this now. M&S spokesman said, blah, 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 blah. Buy our stuff. Now people don't have to compromise and can enjoy the best of both. Yeah, we should ask Leslie, this is a food or not. We know our customers really enjoy trying new foods and not buying our crappy clothes. That's what the statement says, although I do get all of my pants and socks from there. Imagine that. You know, M&S, right? And it used to, everyone used to get, of a certain age, would get their clothes from M&S. And then they blew it. And now all they sell are black boxer shorts and black socks. and once every 18 months, a pair of slippers. That's it. That's it. And yet they still keep going. And I go in sometimes, and when I'm buying my pants and my socks, or once every 18 months when I'm getting the slippers, and I'll look at the clothes in Marx's and go, nah, I'm not old enough yet. I do. I go around and you look at the jacket, and from a distance, their jackets look quite nice. Then you get up close, you go, nah. They have, like, jumpers and jerseys, but they look quite nice. Then you get up close to them, but then they'll have, like, a little picture of a boat or something on it. Do you know what I mean? Just there. We're really excited about our latest creation. M&S said it was inspired after seeing similar loaves. That's not inspiration. That's at best thievery. M&S said it was, and they've even put the word inspired in quotes here. M&S said it was inspired after seeing similar loaves in artisan bakeries and in America, where Chicago bakery Bourage is well known for its version of the crow loaf. The crow loaf, this is the thing, right? If you can't pronounce the name of it, it will not sell. Because people don't like feeling stupid. This is genuine, serious psychology, right? People don't like feeling stupid. So, if you're looking for the crow loaf, right, it's not pronounced that. I don't know what it's pronounced. I'm not going to go up to a woman in a shop or a man in the shop and say, excuse me, I'm looking for the crow loaf. I'm not going to say that. I don't ask for help in shops anyway, but if I have to, I will. But I wouldn't ask for something if I couldn't pronounce it. Hang on a minute, how did I miss this? There is more things. I want to say the word precedent, but I don't know why. The precedent's been set earlier. The crow loaf comes after the crow nut, a combination of croissant and donut, by French-born pastry chef Dominique Ansel. Now, they've made a crow. And when, sweet Lord, when did they start putting hot dogs and hamburgers in brioche? The hell is that about? You get a hot dog, it's in a brioche? You get a hamburger, it's in a brioche? What the hell is that about, guys? Come on! I know they're lovely, but they want us to be fat. They want us to be fat so they can privatise the NHS. Unbelievable. I bet Gary Lineker regrets sending that tweet now, doesn't he, eh? Front page of the Daily Star. Lineker. 0844 499 1000. Another hour of this nonsense. John Lydon is coming up very, very shortly in the next hour. Still time for your calls, though, guys. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome to. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB. Access all radios.
Talk Radio. Give it some lip. Talk Radio.
Another hour to go, dear listener. John Lydon will be coming up in a little bit. Still room for your phone calls, though. 0844 499 1000. You're listening to Talk Radio. My name's Iain Lee, and it's midnight.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
have the best title of any album. Their album that features songs such as Now That I Own the BBC, What Am I Supposed to Do With This Thing? The album is called Gratuitous Sex and Senseless Violins. Oh, come on, guys. 0844 499 1000. Yes! John Lydon is coming up very, very shortly, guys. Let's go to G. Good evening, G.
Hello, hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip. What kind of cake?
Carrot.
The carrot cake is surprisingly tasty.
With a little golden carrot on top.
Yeah, they do that, don't they? It's almost as if to say, honestly, it's a carrot cake, I promise.
Yeah, but a lemon drizzled cake doesn't come with a little bit of a lemon drizzle on top. A walnut cake doesn't come... Oh, actually, walnut cake usually does come with walnut on top.
Is there anything... surely the most hideous, and we don't do old sweets, but the most hideous of all the old sweets was the walnut whip.
Walnut whip?
Walnut whip. Why?
I like a walnut whip.
But it's just got... I don't get walnuts. I don't understand. I'm not really a big fan of nuts. Pistachio, yeah, sure. Peanuts, yeah, go on. Cashew, I might as well have a few. But beyond that, your actual proper nuts. And I think it's that thing of every Christmas we would get a big bowl of nuts. And...
I bet you did.
Steady. That's if we were lucky. Oh, chance would be a fine thing. And
do you know what we used to get on Christmas?
Go on.
We used to sit around the fireplace.
Yeah.
And my parents would sit in front of us, and they would sing a little Christmas song to us every single Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I used to really, really not look forward to the Christmas song that they would sing to us.
Can you sing us the Christmas song?
You better not laugh, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is dead, now get to bed.
It's true, I can see how that would put a dampener
See,
on
that
Christmas.
brought it down a little bit, hasn't
That brought it down, G. All right, lads. I'll tell you what, we're going to make it grim for last hour. Yes,
with
G.
the reason that I actually rang you.
Please do, sir. Yes, sir.
Right, I am performing at Performance Ring, and please don't use the hashtag Performance Ring on Twitter, because it brings up some pretty dodgy things.
It leads you down a rabbit hole that you'd rather not enter.
Certainly does.
Yes.
However, I am performing via Skype on...
Oh, I've got you, sus. Well, your voice isn't anything like what I imagined it to be.
Okay, I went silent for a couple of seconds then because I'm trying to imagine how Iain Lee would imagine my voice to be connected to my name.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's an impossible thing for you.
Or is that for a different phone-in?
I thought your voice would be higher and less...
Squeaky voice?
I thought it would be higher and less earthy.
Less earthy? Well, I am pagan, so I guess earthy is... Yeah.
I expect it to be less earthy.
Okay, less earthy.
Yeah.
I can do a squeaky voice with the poem that I'm about to recite to you.
Okay, no, don't do a squeaky voice. And now listen.
Yes.
How long have you been listening to me for?
How long have I been listening to you for? I've followed you for a very, very long time. Hence the reason I did the whole get James Whale to ring Iain Lee thing.
Called James Whale Show on Talksport Radio. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, if you've been listening...
Wells Fargo was one of my favourite bits on Red Rose. It was Red Rose, wasn't it? I'm not getting my facts mixed up.
I wasn't on Red Rose.
No, James Whale was.
Oh, I don't know.
It was Red Rose and Radio Air. James Whale was the James Whale radio show, which went to TV, did the whole Wells Fargo
are
thing.
Old.
Oh, I'm 43 years old.
Shut up. Because, right, while I'm thrilled at your performance at Performance Ring. Yes. I don't normally allow poetry on the radio.
Is there a reason for that? Do you have a bias against poetry?
Yeah.
The spoken word?
On the radio, I do, yeah. On the radio, in a live environment, yeah, that's fine, I can dig that. In the written form, that's good, I can dig that. There's just something, and I'm not, listen, this is not a done deal yet, G. This can go either way. We are engaging in negotiations now.
So I'm bartering for my...
your freedom. You're bartering for your artistic freedom.
I've done that quite a few times.
Listen, man, haven't we all? I've got a prejudice in my head, right? And I'm going to tell you what the prejudice is, because prejudice is often, racial prejudice and sexual prejudice is often, you can't explain it. There's no reason for it. There's no logical reason for it.
It inhabits your body, and you have no explanation for it.
So this is the prejudice I have against it, right?
Right. Against poetry itself.
No, against poetry on the radio, and that's the specific thing.
Okay.
That's the specific thing, right? Because I'm not against poetry at all. I love poetry, but to me, it reminds me of little old women phoning up Clive Bull, who is a radio presenter on another radio station, and
of course,
a wonderful, wonderful human being.
Not that I've ever listened to Clive Bull at all in my whole life.
Correct answer.
I only listen to Iain Lee.
All right, now you're getting weird. And them phoning up, Clive, I've just written a little poem. Could I read it to you, please? And it goes on for about 8 minutes, and it's awful. It's awful.
The poem that I am about to recite, if you would accept my recital,
these are negotiations,
would last about 38 seconds.
Right, now here's the thing. Another problem I have with it is I don't know how I'm supposed to respond after a poem.
You're never meant to respond after a poem.
Is it like a reading from the Bible in assembly? We once got told off by Mrs. Payne, the headmistress, because we applauded a Bible reading, and she went...
No, you never applaud poetry.
No,
you never applaud poetry. Poetry is spoken word.
Yeah.
It's spoken from the heart. It's spoken from the soul.
From a little black book sometimes.
Silence is the best applause a poet could ever get.
Okay, well then you're going to get...
means it's spoken to them, and the image of the poem is portrayed into the mind's eye, and...
Or maybe they've not understood it.
It technically means you've listened. You don't listen to poetry, you feel poetry.
Or it might mean that they've misunderstood it, or they don't know that it's finished.
It could, but then that gets a little bit awkward when you're halfway through the poem and people start applauding you.
I always pride myself. Sometimes at like class...
I'm hoping doesn't happen on Performers Ring, by the way.
Well, don't worry about that. It'll be on Skype. No one will. I pride myself on three things with my applause, right? One, my applause is very, very loud and distinct. People, you can listen to a recording of an audience, you'd be able to spot my applause. Two, 9 times out of 10, I'm the last person to finish clapping. So mine will be the last clap you'll hear. But
does that not then mean that you are the last person to absorb what's just happened?
No. And here's the thing, right? Sometimes after a classical performance or like a pretentious play where you don't actually know it's finished and you're supposed to start applauding.
The head and said pretentious.
Yeah. In those situations, I'm the first person to break ranks and start applauding. And I've never got it wrong. I've never applauded when it's like they've not finished, it's just a breather and the lights have gone to black. I've never done that. Some people do, not me. I know exactly when that performance is finished. I studied performing arts for 3 years, guys. I speak a de language. I know when that performance is finished and the whole audience is nervous going, do we applaud? Do we applaud? I'm in there and I'm leading it. Oh, there's a distinct applause. Oh, I recognise that clap. That's Iain Lee. Oh, yeah. Everyone's finished. Everyone's dying off. I've got another 3 in me. I'm finished now. That's applause, G.
The only thing I can say to that is you are very astute.
Thank you. Let's hear your poem.
And you understand when a performance has reached its crescendo.
Thank you very much indeed. Go on, give us your poem.
You drink a brandy, honey. I will drink gin. Show me your money, baby. I will show you how to sin. Don't ask me questions, sweetheart. I will tell no lies. Just leave me by the morning, lover, with tears still in your eyes. Please don't applaud right now.
Thanks for calling, G.
Bye-bye.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Trying to organise an interview with a band in America, and they nearly all go... Isn't it funny? The bigger the star, the smoother it is. The smaller the star, the bigger the problems are, and the bigger the ego of the people that we're dealing with. Not necessarily the act. The act would be lovely. I'm sure they'd be absolutely delightful if we ever get to speak to them. Come on, guys. Do you know what? I mean, come on. It was easier to get Mike Love from the Beach Boys on than, and I'm not going to say who until it either falls through or maybe after it happens, if it happens. We'll see, but we're not going to indulge them. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. John Lydon's coming up very, very soon. In the meantime, I'm trying... Oh, this was... Now, this is exciting. They're only doing it for a one-off, right? Nostalgia is all the rage at the moment, isn't it? They're bringing back, for one show only, World of Sport wrestling, proper wrestling. None of your Hulk Hogans and your British Bulldog. None of that rubbish. Proper wrestling. Won't be Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy, because I think they're both dead. Hold on to your handbag, Grandma. Wrestling is coming back to our TV screens. I'm in. The show that attracted millions of viewers between 1965 and 1985 is being resurrected by ITV for a one-off 2-hour special. It was a really weird programme. So 1985, so I was 12 when it stopped. I think I got bored of it a couple of years before. But you got to remember, in those days there were only 3 channels. And sometimes, in the afternoon, the channels would switch off. They'd switch off, and you get up... If you got up too early in the morning, TV didn't start until 9 o'clock, I think. That's how old I am. I remember before TVAM and Good Morning Britain. And we'd come downstairs, and we'd watch the snow on the telly. Me and my sister, we'd sit there and watch the snow on the telly because there was no programme. And then they'd show... on ITV, they'd show a blue test card for the IBA, the Independent Broadcasting Association. It was blue with like a sort of, not quite a diamond shape, maybe a rhomboid in the middle and like the IBA logo. We'd sit there and watch that for hours. 3 channels. And they'd stop and they'd turn off at night. 10:30 at night, the channels would stop. I'm old enough to remember them playing the national anthem. And then it'd go, boom, and it would go into the dot. So we would watch any old crap then. You talk about all these shows that got 20, 25 million viewers. It's because there was nothing else on, literally. At its peak, 18 million watched fan favourites Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks in a 1981 grapple at Wembley Arena. Well, I know what I'm looking for on YouTube tomorrow afternoon. The pair were household names, as was commentator and host Kent Walton, who often pointed out elderly ladies in ringside seats getting so worked up they would hit competitors with their handbags. They would. They'd bash... If the bad guy fell out of the ring, the old women would get their bags out and hit them over the head with it. Wonderful! While men were out at football matches or the pub, many women were at home watching the big names, such as Kendo Nagasaki, Mick McManus and Jackie Pallo. Jackie Pallo. Knock 7 bells out of each other, yet somehow emerge unscathed. Even the Queen and Margaret Thatcher were said to be fans and tuned in for their weekly fix of 3 falls or a submission. World of Sport Wrestling to be aired over the festive system. That means Christmas. We'll see some of the UK's top names in the sport compete in what's described as a fun-filled afternoon of family sports entertainment. It will include single bouts as well as tag teams and eliminations with commentary by Jim Ross. Wrestling star El Ligero said he was... Now, here we go. I don't know any of these people. I suppose all the people I know are dead. They're all dead. Said he was extremely proud to be involved alongside the East End butcher, Shah Samuels, and female wrestler Viper Kimberly Benson. Fans praised the news, with Tony Bainbridge... Who? Posting on Twitter. Oh, no. They've only gone and got the comment from people on Twitter. They couldn't be bothered to find, like, a wrestling page on Facebook and just say, can we just get a couple of quotes from you guys? Does anyone mind if we just spend 10 minutes phoning you up just to ask you your thoughts on this show? Couldn't even be bothered to do that. Would you, though? If you could get away with just typing in ITV Wrestling in the Twitter search thing, you'd do that, wouldn't you? Of course you would. You're all lazy. Hey, there it is. There's the IBA logo. Look at that. I'm going to retweet that. Oh, I've got a little tingle in my arm there. It's just reminded me of my sister in our pyjamas, waiting for the telly to start. Fans praised the news with Tony Bainbridge posting on Twitter, fantastic news, top British talent. Joey Hayes said, the talent on the ITV World of Sport are all top class and deserve it. Good news. I'm totally watching that. Oh, but then it says, Voice of the Mirror, page 8. So the Mirror is going to give its opinion on this. Wonder what they're going to say. It won't be as good as what they would say in The Sun. Here's the Voice of the Mirror. Wrestling is like no other sport, and the return of grappling, throws and takedowns to ITV will be a moment to savour the greats of the canvas. Sales of cardigans and... Oh, it's a joke. They do a joke. I see. Sales of cardigans and handbags packing a haymaker punch will soar as otherwise polite little old ladies prepare for front row combat. I wonder if anyone goes to see the wrestling anymore. You know, it can't be anywhere near as big as it used to be. Obviously, it's not as big as it used to be. I wonder if people still go to... Where do they show... And I don't mean the American wrestling, because the American wrestling is different. It's a completely different thing. It's much more theatrical and slick, and I hope that this World of Sport thing won't be too Americanised. It will still be a little bit pony. We want it to be a little bit pony, if at all possible. You know, nice and low rent. That's how we want these things to be. 0844 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. John Lydon coming up.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0844 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Although John Lydon's coming up very soon, and Eddie's going to type my out times on the screen. Thank you very much indeed. The woman... You may have heard this. Did you hear this story about the woman who died?
No. Which one?
The woman who invented something that you'll have used, I'll have used, you'll have used them 3 times in your life, I'll have used them 3 times in my life, 3 periods in my life. Although actually, I might have only used them at 2 periods in my life.
Right.
You'll have used them 3 periods in your life. I'll have to check with my mum, but I think I've only used them in 2 periods in my life. What did she invent? She died. What did she invent?
Don't know. Nappies?
Yeah, disposable nappies.
Why would I have done them? Oh, yeah.
She got 2 kids and you would have worn them as well. I don't think I wore disposable nappies.
I didn't wear disposable nappies.
Did you not?
No.
Did your mum boil them?
Yeah, and there was one
Aye.
famous story in our household where my dad threw the poo and the nappy liner into the fire, filling the house with a delicious
Aye.
aroma of baby poo.
That might be why you're so short. Could have stunted your growth.
What?
Toxic fecal fumes
Yeah.
fanning the flames of midgetry.
Yeah. No, so yeah, I was a Terry Towling girl.
So it could be said this woman, a pioneer, has died. Could also be said that someone who's done more harm
The environment, yeah.
to the planet than China has died. The amount of landfill, and because they're non-biodegradable, guys, that this woman has created.
Do you believe that?
Do I believe what? They're non-biodegradable. Poo and wee doesn't get through them. So yeah, I believe that. Of course, because they're non-biodegradable.
Well, they used to say that about Tesco carrier bags, didn't they? Right?
They don't biodegrade.
Oh, yes, they do.
They do now because
No.
they're made of something different.
No, let me tell you something. When I first had my own flat,
Yes.
so this was in the
70s?
No, about
60s.
2003.
Yeah.
I had in my kitchen, as most right-minded people do, I had a carrier bag, big one, with lots of other carrier bags inside it.
Yeah. Oh, this your scientific evidence is your carrier bag.
Wait.
Flippin' it.
One afternoon, I reached into the carrier bag to try and extract one to go shopping with, right?
Yeah.
Or to use as a bin bag.
Yeah.
They had all crumbled to nothing. I thought I had a mouse. No, they just do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, it did.
Well, they don't. You had a mouse.
It happened. No, I didn't have a mouse. It happened. They were just crumbling away. Explain that, scientists.
Well, because you had...
It was a lie.
The British mother who invented the disposable nappy has died at the age of 94. As a young housewife in the 1940s, Valerie Hunter Gordon was fed up with washing endless towel nappies covered in cack. Desperate for an alternative, with a 3rd child on the way, the army officer's wife was amazed to find nobody had invented a throwaway version. So, using all her wartime resourcefulness, the 24-year-old began fashioning her first 2-part prototype using her Singer sewing machine, and so the Paddy was born.
Oh.
Her idea transformed the lives of mothers and fathers everywhere, and last night tributes were paid to the Highland inventor who passed away peacefully in her home in Bewley, Inverness Shire on Sunday. Now, I don't know where Bewley is, I don't know where Inverness Shire is, but I want to live there.
Inverness is the place where they speak the clearest and most precise English in the world.
Is it not in Scotland?
Yeah.
Well, then how is that possible?
Because they say why and white.
Oh, so I speak. I bet do they say vehicle?
I don't know, but they should.
I wonder why. I say that, I pronounce the H's, and yet you tell me off sometimes for pronouncing the H's.
Well, it makes you sound like a wally. You're not from Inverness. Why are you doing that?
Where's that place where they speak 18th century English? There's a place. Oh, yeah. There is a place. It's an island, and they still speak... Well, I've spoilt the story already by saying it. 18th century English. That is a true story.
I'm sure it is.
That is true. Where is that, guys? Someone will know. Nope, no one's sending me a psychic message.
It'll take a while. They're just scribbling it down with a quill.
What was that?
That was my throat gurgling.
Little windy pops there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, too much tea.
How did you find John Lydon?
I liked him.
He was nice, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was
And I know we were
charming.
both a bit nervous.
Yeah, really nervous.
You know when you think someone's going to either make things, I don't know, might make things a bit difficult because they're mischievous.
Yeah.
So I was ready for that, but it wasn't. He was just like a nice fella.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? He played the... Oh, yeah, look, there's some... Cole is off to see a bit of wrestling in Sheffield. Good for you, mate.
Sweet.
Well done. Result. Yeah, I was expecting trouble. And yet, it's funny enough, because I said he'd done lots of interviews with various local newspapers. And I've been in touch with a couple of the reporters just saying, how did you get... I couldn't find an in for Lydon. And one guy whose name escapes me was really, really helpful. He said, well, this is his agent, this is his manager, this is his US... And he was, and I said, thanks a lot. I'm really nervous. And he went, don't be. He's a pussycat. You ask him a question and he'll keep talking. Now, I didn't find that. I found it quite... He wasn't as verbose as I was expecting him to be. Some of the answers were a little bit short.
I think he was smoking.
Yeah?
So there was that going on. I also think he had a bit of trouble hearing you.
I think he's deaf. As you would be if you'd, been at the front of the Sex Pistols and Pill for all those years. I think he is a bit deaf. But he sounded older than I thought as well. I know he's like 60, but he sounded a lot older than I was expecting him. I've read a lot of interviews with him recently. I've not heard a recent interview. But boy, oh boy, there are some people, with their voices, you just know instantly who it is on the other end of the line. There was no mistaking that we were speaking to John Lydon. And he is this kind of pantomime villain that's been built up over the years as, being this, what is it, enfant terrible, just this kind of person who would literally and metaphorically stick two fingers up at everything.
Character. It was a character, wasn't it?
Yeah. I thought he was funny. He was charming. Listen to it. We're going to play it in a minute, right? We'll have a break, then we'll play it. I felt it took a few minutes to warm up. For me to warm up and for him to warm up and for me to... I was trying to chip in and he couldn't hear me very well. And it takes a little while, I thought, for it to get going. But I am proud that, we got him on, Talk Radio. Brilliant.
You got on, the two of you.
We got on.
You shocked him.
Yes, I did shock him. He laughed with shock at something I said. I didn't think that would happen. You have bleeped it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay,
and I've
good.
double-checked.
We didn't mention punk. We didn't mention the name Sex Pistols, although
I think he says Pistols.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay, he does. He mentioned Johnny Rotten. Didn't talk about Sid Vicious. And the brief, the conversation kind of went over the Pistols. It moved away from it very, very quickly, And it's the 40th anniversary of punk, So everybody will have been wanting to get at him at 40 years, that's 40th anniversary.
But it was a blink of the eye, wasn't it, Punk?
Yeah.
It was a journey
Yeah.
somewhere else. What was it, 2 years? Not even that.
If that. And most of it, let's be honest, guys, was rubbish.
Yeah, but that was the point of it. It was homemade music, wasn't it?
It was... Exactly. Thank you.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
So tonight's show as it will be, but I should say tomorrow night show, we have got the gentleman coming on to talk about Max Spears.
Yes.
I'm really interested. I'm going to do a little bit of research today and try and read up lots of different bits and pieces, and we'll see how that goes. But coming up next, an interview. Did we do this last week? Week before?
Yeah, last week, yeah.
John Lydon, who, of course, Pistol and Public Image Limited, they are re-releasing, I think, the first two Public Image Limited albums in, box sets. There's 4 CD box sets, metal box, and I think the other the second one's just called Album, I think, in that crazy kind of way. And they're also doing some tour dates in November. And I just thought, wouldn't it be nice to get John Lydon on the show? And I didn't really think we'd pull it off, but we did. And he was a charmer. Here it is. Hello, John. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello, mate.
Unfortunately.
Hey, come on, you cheeky git. Blimey.
Good morning, afternoon and evening to you and all.
Good evening to you, boss. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, it lives.
Listen, it's such a thrill to talk to you. Me and my producer, Catherine, were wondering, how did you end up living in the States? Because to me, you're so quintessentially English that it just seems odd that you live in America. How did that happen?
Well, if I'm quintessentially English, that's not bad for a bloke of Irish inheritance.
That's true. Fair play.
You know, it's all part and parcel of what I've always said. I view myself as an international human being. And I don't like national pride too much because it creates tensions between us, and it's a division. One world, thank you. Bob Marley was right about that. No, how'd I end up in America? Well, yeah. I had all these endless police raids, and of course they'd find nothing, but I knew sooner or later something would be like, rubber planted on me. And so I just decided to just get up and go. The whole band. We couldn't get any gigs in England. Everywhere we were banned, or there was like some law thrown at us. So off we went to New York, rented a cheap loft, and from there on in, I decided that was the better place for me.
How are you finding it now, John? Because, obviously we're watching it all through the lens of the presidential race. You a fan of Trump's?
Well, I'm not a fan of media gossip.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's what the world is now dragged us into. I mean, it's highly entertaining, I've got to say. I mean, it's riveting viewing. And then politicians are normally just extremely boring. So there's a different, a sharpening of the blade, shall we say. But no, it's downscale for me. Poison. This will be the first time I'll be allowed to vote in America. And, well, I'm hardly spoilt for choice, am I?
Are you going to vote? Are you going to use it?
Oh, yeah. If it arrives in the post, I mean, I've made my application.
John, am I allowed to ask who, or is that private?
Well, I think it obviously won't be a businessman. I mean, you pick your choices and all that, but yeah. I think if you're going to go from a politician, a career politician, to a businessman, that's a leap in the dark, the wrong way.
John, listen, we got you on because there's two things happening with you. Public Image Limited. You've got the reissue of is it Metal Box and album? Yeah, it is. It's both of them, isn't it?
Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
With all 4 CD box sets, 4 LP box sets. Do you like looking back? Do you like going through the old stuff and...
Well, I do. I do when the offer's presented by larger labels. They'll put that out for us. Yeah, we like that very much. Those are two very valuable albums to me. They're both extremely different in their approach, but they show that I'm always ahead of the curve. Shall we put it that way?
I think you are, and I think it's taken a while for a lot of people to recognise that. Metal Box is kind of legendary. Why is it so important for you, do you think?
It was a complete shift of direction from what people knew from me and the Pistols. And for me, that's very important because the subject matter changes, and therefore the music must be appropriate to that. Words and music, that's how it works.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other, and it would be inaccurate to be reining into this territory with old traditional sounds. And so we created our own landscape, and indeed I've done that ever since with Pill.
Do you get frustrated that to a lot of people, Pill, been going for years and years and recorded some amazing albums and some amazing singles as well, that it kind of gets a bit overlooked with other bits of your history?
I'm not disappointed in that. I mean, I walked away from that showbiz stardom thing very, very obviously, and I've kept myself out of that. I don't have a huge publicity machine behind me to promote me, and I don't want that. As Pill, I'm a member. Our audience knows that. We take what we do very seriously. We work very hard to create these sounds.
Yeah. I know you do. I know you put a lot of work into it, and it's a group effort. You say you walked away from the publicity machine. You, of course, did I'm a Celebrity.
Well, it won't leave me alone, will it? And that's, what do they call that? An inconvenient truth. Well, that's lovely. Getting all that free.
But people love you. You know, it's weird how you went from, you know, kind of being a figure of hate to a lot of people in the 70s.
Yeah. First time people ever got to really see me properly was on the I'm a Celebrity.
Yeah.
That's how I really am in my real life. And you're exposed there with cameras on you 24 hours a day. And if you're horrible, it's going to show, isn't it?
Yeah, and you came across as charming and delightful and...
Survivor, you see.
Yeah.
That's it. Any situation, I'll make the best of it. That's how I am.
And also, kudos for calling Ant and Dec. What did you call them, a pair of...
Yeah, no, actually, I meant it to anyone who was voting for me to stay in there.
It was a wonderful moment.
It was a case of enough all right already. There was a problem with the celebrity people. They wouldn't tell me that my wife had arrived.
Yeah.
And you know, we were booked on that Lockerbie flight. And ever since then, we have to know when each other arrives safely. And they knew that before I went in, and just would deny me that one little bit of a sentence, like, one word, yes, that's all I needed, and that drove me crazy, and that stirred in my head, and I just thought, this is useless to me, and you know, I'm not going to let people use my anxiety to make money off me. So bugger them, and off I went.
Does that haunt you that you were booked to go on the flight that we now refer to as Lockerbie? Does that still bother you?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I could have been blown out of the sky for no clear-cut, obviously useful reason, other than religious hatred or whatever the reasons terrorists are what they are. It's anyone or anything that wants to kill another human being, for me, has no cause anymore at all. And so the pacifist in me is infuriated. So there you go. Anger is an energy. So I use that energy positively. Don't turn to guns, because my words are my bullets.
I've got to say, I've read Anger is an Energy. The one of, I think it's the third autobiography. It's a cracking read, John.
Good on you.
It's a good read. You've got some live dates as well coming up. You've got we've got Salisbury. These are all in November. Salisbury, Leamington Spa, Birmingham, Leicester. Do you like performing live? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I do. I do. And the smaller the venue, the better, the more intimate it becomes. For me, it's always like making eyeball contact with people, that I know what I'm doing is getting through to them. And indeed, you can read people's eyes, and they're feeding you information, and that alters the songs and the way they're delivered too. So it's a sharing evening had by all. It's religion without the God.
Have you always enjoyed it? Were you always confident on stage?
No, not when I first started. Very nervous, and still am before I go on. But now I'm eager to get on rather than looking for an excuse not to.
Yeah.
It's a frightening thing. I mean, I was bunged in there at the deep end. We became very successful very quickly, and it got too out of control. And so that's a hard lot of pressure to have to deal with. And indeed, many people I've worked with over the years have fallen by the wayside because of drug abuse.
Yeah.
And so, boo hiss, I'm very angry that I allowed my friends to be so silly to themselves. For me, there's a big difference between recreational and creating. Very, very serious difference, and the two don't tally well. What you have to learn to do, and any band out there, I think, learns this if they're worth their weight in gold, is that you enjoy the stress. You begin to see that as your friend.
I've got to ask, John, what was Judge Judy like?
Gorgeous.
I was watching the telly one afternoon and it popped up and went, oh, blimey, this is brilliant.
Yeah, no, I know. I've read it. Certain bad journalists have said it was a fake case. It was a real case. It's just bizarre that the accuser decided he wanted it taken to a TV judge. Well, there you go. You have to deal with it in exactly the same way. And lo and behold, I am innocent. I've been telling you all this for years.
It was a wonderful bit of television. It was two worlds colliding, and you're stood there just looking like a very naughty schoolboy. It was fantastic.
Well, I am, because I have this natural disrespect for authority, but at the same time, I have this wonderful love of my own freedom. And I don't like to be accused wrongly, not by anybody, for anything. I'm the kind, I'll stand there and I'll fight for my right.
John, famously, you, in the 70s, you were kind of hinting at Jimmy Savile and what Jimmy Savile was up to.
Yeah. See, I think all us kids knew that.
It was a rumour.
What was going on at the BBC? It was frightening.
It was a rumour going around, wasn't it, in playgrounds and things?
Yeah. Well, the worst rumour of it all at the time was his penchant for dead bodies.
Yes. Now, see, I've heard this. This isn't. Yeah, isn't it strange? And you kind of hint, you know.
Well, you can call these childhood rumours, but children seem to get to the truth a lot quicker than adults. Just no one listens to us. And I mean, I grew up with priests, you know, being a nightmare for me, and everybody else I knew at school. And so, you know, we were always on the defensive with that, with the adult world. And how your parents could so easily hand you over and let these adults be in charge of you, and what it was that was going on in their heads.
You're one of the adults now, John. How does that sit with you now?
Very well. Because I've learnt from my youth, and I share those experiences.
Yeah.
I talk openly and honestly, and I hope that has a positive effect on the youth of the future.
There was talk of a film coming out about you. Is that happening, or is that stalled?
Oh, that was years back. There is a documentary now, but the film idea just got out of hand. Hollywood started to poke into it and altered the subject matter of it to a ridiculous generic kind of pop star love story thing. You could have called it the David Cassidy show. It was so far removed from reality. And I'm Johnny Bleeding Rotten, not Jason in his Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yeah, I can understand how Hollywood would have a problem getting that across.
Inventing characters that didn't exist, you know, because of the requirement of cliches. Well, I'm sorry, but my life, I don't have enough cliches to make a movie. For shame.
What does the future hold? What else you got lined up? You've got these re-releases.
Well,
you've got the live dates
coming out. There's a documentary coming out soon, and I mean that's based on the last 5 to 7 years of our work. You know, once we got our own record label together and got out of the claws and clutches of corporate business. Things have been on the up and up for us. It's the first time in my life I've been able to keep a band together for longer than one album. I mean, that's historical, and it may well be coincidental, but sometimes I like them coincidences very much.
And, John, finally, do you know that people love you over here now?
I genuinely don't see why not, and I don't mean that in a big, heavy kind of way, but I've never done anything to harm anyone. It's always been my way, whether looking after problem children before the Pistols to looking after problem children with the Pistols and looking after problem adults and children with Pill.
Yeah. When I said you were coming on, we just had so many texts and tweets and stuff, just full of affection for you.
I'm very keen to this and aware of it because our audiences relate that warmth.
Yeah.
That's what I meant earlier when I said it. We're like a church without the religion. That's exactly what it is.
Good.
It's a church of empathy, you know, and respect for each other. And there isn't too much of that really in the pop world.
What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding?
Well, because the concept originated from the hippies, and really, I mean, what peace, love and understanding did they have but wealthy parents who let them behave spoiled? And they didn't share anything, not with us working class kids.
Yeah.
They were an alien breed to us. Very much like it was a North and South divide also at the time. And I think over the years I've managed to break down those barriers and see them now for contempt. And now you can approach things like open honesty and integrity and empathy. Yes, and use the word love and mean it, rather than it be a vacuous Woodstock statement.
John, it's such a thrill to speak to you, man. I really appreciate your time, and best of luck with the re-releases and the shows. I'm sure they'll be a brilliant success. Thank you, mate.
Good on you. May the road rise and the enemies always be behind you. May they scatter, flatter, batter and shatter.
I love you, John. Thank you, mate. Cheers.
I love me too.
Talk Radio. Digital debate for the UK.
Pick up your phone and talk radio.
We'll get you talking.